Chapter 24. Right under our noses. Dale pumped like he could outpedal the storm. Me balanced on his handlebars, the storm's flat, angry hands shoving us along the blacktop. Dale stood up on the pedals, panting as the front wheel began to squeak. There was something about that sound. The sound of metal, the whirring squeak. "Stop!" I shouted. "I know where Miss Lana is." He slammed on the brakes, catapulting me off my perch. "Where?" he panted. "Right under our noses." Dale looked down, then out across a pitching ocean of corn, its green leaves going silver beneath the rolling sky. "I don't see her," he said. "Get back on." "The old Blaylock place," I said, pointing to a sandy path etching its way across the corn. "It's the perfect hiding place. Ain't nobody been there since Miss Blaylock died last winter. Nobody except us, hunting daffodils, and maybe Redneck Red to check on the sill. Everybody pretends he ain't running. Miss Lana's down that path. I know it." "Star's already searched the empty houses. Get on." "Deputy Marla's already searched," I said. He braced against the wind. "Daddy might be home, Mo. I got to go." "Just a few minutes," I begged, stepping in front of the bike. "Remember how Miss Blaylock's old water tower squeaks when the wind blows? That's the sound I heard when Slate called." The wind raked his hair. "I got a foolproof plan. Take us 5 minutes is all. 5 minutes to save Miss Lana's life." He bit his lip. "I don't know. I hear the Blaylock place is haunted, that everything is just like she left it. And Lavender says Miss Blaylock's TV comes on at odd times, and she changes the channels herself." I snorted. "Don't be a baby. 5 minutes. You'll be a hero." He sighed. 5 minutes, Mo, but that's all." 10 minutes later, we ditched the bike and hid behind a hydrangea bush. "Stay low," I whispered, glancing at the wooden water tower in the side yard. "Slate's been here sure as my name's Mo Lobo," I added, nodding toward the tire tracks in the drive. "Anybody could have left those tracks," he said. "What's your foolproof plan?" "I'm getting to that," I said, trying hard to think of one. "First, I do my surveillance. Then I'll explain my strategy, which is genius quality, believe me." His shoulders slumped. "You don't have a plan, do you?" "I knew it," he said, his eyes filling with tears. "I knew not to come to a ghost farm with you during a hurricane." "Shh, I'm casing the place," I said, my gaze taking in the neat white house and lingering on the padlocked front door. "It's locked tight, just like people say." "What was that?" Dale whispered. "Did you hear a TV?" "No, I didn't hear a TV," I said. Still, an uneasy feeling settled cool hands against my neck. I swallowed hard and turned my attention to the side yard and the old water tower with its bandied legs and pot belly. Its windmill had lost an arm, but it whirled to battle each gust of the approaching storm. Faintly I heard it. Squeak! Squeak! It was the water tower I heard. "No doubt about it," I said. "Only there's no way you could hear it from inside Miss Blaylock's house." Slate wasn't inside when he called. "Thank you, Jesus," Dale whispered. "He must have been closer to the tower." I glanced at the pump house. Its thick curtain of kudzu was torn. Somebody had opened that door. "She's in the pump house," I said, my heart pounding. "Come on, we're on search and rescue. If you see Slate, give me a signal." "I do a nice owl," he suggested. "Fine," I told him. "If you see Slate, hoot like an owl. Now, fan out." Dale shook his head. "There's only 2 of us," he said. "You gotta have 3 to fan, and that's at the very least." "Okay," I said. "Forget fanning. We'll surround the pump house. You go around back and I'll take the door." "No," he said firmly. "It's too snaky in the back. I'll go to the door. Snakes are mean enough in good weather. There's no telling how they think with a hurricane coming." I took a deep breath. "The Colonel says sometimes all a leader can do is see which way everybody's going and try to get in front. This looked like one of those times." "Okay," I said. We'll both take the door. Follow me." I crouched low and sprinted across the yard to the pump house, Dale on my heels. "Miss Lana," I whispered, "are you in there?" Squeak! I grabbed the door's rusty latch. "Miss Lana?" A shaft of light pierced the shed's gloomy heart. Inside, I could just make out a case of old mason jars, a rusted rake, and a wooden bucket, rotted half through. "She ain't here," I said, my heart tumbling. "No," Dale said, kicking at an old knee-high bottle. "I'm sorry, Mo. Let's go home." Behind us, a tree limb thunked against the side of the house. "What the—" He glanced back at the house and screamed, the sound slicing me like razors as he dove to my feet. "What?" I shouted, falling to the ground beside him. "Did you see Slate? I thought you were going to hoot like an owl." "It's Miss Blaylock's ghost!" he cried, his face ashen. "Where?" "In the house," he said, his eyes glassy with fear. "She flitted past the window." Thunk. I squinted past the dancing broom straw. "That ain't no ghost," I told him. "Somebody's in there." I sprinted across the yard to the back porch. Miss Blaylock's heavy back door scraped across the kitchen's faded linoleum. The rumors were right. The kitchen stood just as Miss Blaylock left it the morning she died. Table set for one, paper dry daffodil in a mason jar, a cast iron frying pan on the stove. "Miss Lana?" I whispered. The wind groaned and the roof rattled. "Let's try the living room," I murmured, looking away from the table. It looked too lonely, too abandoned, too close to being alive. Dale grabbed my arm. "What's that smell?" he said, sniffing the air. I scanned the kitchen. Pizza boxes littered the counter. "Pizza Hut delivers out here?" he gasped. He tiptoed to the boxes, opened the top one and sniffed again. Empty, but fresh. "At least Miss Lana ain't hungry." I crept to the living room. The room sat prim and proper. A torn curtain fluttered by a cracked window pane. "There's your ghost," I said. Then, as my eyes adjusted, I saw something else. Blood. Blood on the floor. Blood on a shattered lamp. Blood on the faded wallpaper. "Miss Lana!" I screamed. "Where are you?" We tore through the creaking house, yanking open doors, calling her name. "She ain't here," Dale panted, his face pale as his forgotten ghost. "Follow the blood," I said, heading back to the living room wallpaper and placing my hand against her handprint. "There," I said, pointing. We followed a faint smear of blood across the room, down a hall to a door. As I pushed the door open, the wind grabbed it, jerking me onto the porch. Scuff marks scarred the dirt drive and disappeared in a crisscross of tire tracks. "She was fighting," Dale said, his voice shaking. "Fighting good." The pecan trees flailed in a darkening sky, and an old fertilizer bag cartwheeled across the yard. The storm's first raindrops spattered onto the dust, the size of dimes. "He's moved her. We've got to get some help," I said. "Come on. Mama's closest," he said, running toward his bike. "She'll know what to do." And that is the end of chapter 24.